and welcome to the Frank and Jill Show. It is the first day of December. It is a Monday. We are thrilled to be with you here today. I am Jill Farmer. Steve Sabard sitting in for Frank. Frank is down in Florida spending a little quality time with his mother-in-law and Monique. Don't worry, it's not all family duties. He texted me yesterday, and he is going to be able to sneak in some pickleball and as much golf as possible.
You don't say.
Are you shocked by that
Stunned
news?
by that.
Connor McCarthy back in the house after taking a rare few days off. Connor, one of the hardest working people in the entire St. Louis media. You actually enjoyed a little bit of a staycation for once. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, a lot of family was in town, and they were kind of going to be in town in the early part of the week, so I took some time off to be with them, and then, of course, had the Thursday, Friday off anyway for Thanksgiving, so there you go.
And you were back at it yesterday, though, making sure that everything...
It came in Sundays like normal, but it's fine. It was good. It was great.
Good. Well, it's good to have you back, and very good to have all of our listeners with us here as well. And I want to just thank everybody for the lovely cards and notes and messages I've gotten on the text line because I was out for a couple days before Thanksgiving. We had my mom's funeral up in Des Moines the day before Thanksgiving. It was a beautiful event, and just very grateful. Steve, it was really cool. I mean, multiple friends from St. Louis drove up
that's nice.
to Des Moines the day before Thanksgiving, friends from high school, college, different parts of our life. And my mom and dad graduated together. They were high school sweethearts in 1959. There were 8 members of their graduating high school class that were there at the funeral, to be there to honor my mom and to be there with my dad. That was a cool moment, just to think of those lifelong friendships in their mid-80s taking the time to come honor a classmate like that. I loved it.
Well, let me say I'm sorry for your loss.
Thanks.
But,
You've been through it. You've been through it twice.
I've been through it twice. I know it. It's a weird feeling when one of your parents is gone, particularly your mom.
Mm-hmm.
But when both are gone, then it really hits home. Then it really becomes. But I know that you were a great daughter, and you were very involved, and you were driving back and forth, and you put your parents' health and well-being above other things in your life. And I think at the end of the day, when you reflect back, and this is just on my own personal experience, the best thing my wife and I ever did was move my dad in with me.
Oh, really?
For the last 10 years of his life.
Mm-hmm.
When you look back, you'll be very, very glad that you did what you did.
Yeah. Our friend Julie Buck has her mom living with her for a while now, and it's, of course, got its plot twists anytime you do something like that, but I always thought it was just such a cool... We don't do it as much in our culture, right? In other cultures, it's very common to have grandparents move in with families
Very
and help
much so.
take care of grandkids and just be part of life. We don't do it as much.
I was in my mid-30s and a single man still when I moved my dad in. Believe me, there were some nights I'm going, what am I doing here?
How'd that help your dating life back in that era?
It was, fortunately, I was, dating my wife. And
Okay, good.
They took to each other like,
good,
like father-daughter. They became like father-daughter. But it was different in my mid-30s. But when I look back, number one thing on my resume, I'd point to that.
Yeah, very good. Thanksgiving, did you have a great one?
I did. We celebrated a day after. For us, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you start having your kids, my stepson start having kids, and then they have other families. So now they've got multiple Thanksgivings to deal with. We used to do one big, gigantic Thanksgiving, but we've even outgrown that.
Yeah,
so we kind of do it.
Because you've mentioned it before. You're up to how many grandkids now?
8, 9's on the way.
I thought so. When is number 9 coming?
Early next year.
Oh, so exciting. Really exciting. So that's 9 kids, by the way, listeners, from 2 different sons. So those guys have really...
And they're all 6 or under at this point. No one's even 7 years of age.
One has 5 and one has 4. That's unbelievable. Really, really cool. Connor, favorite thing on the Thanksgiving menu this year for you?
I think it's either my mom or my uncle makes the stuffing, and it has some goat cheese in it, sprinkled within it, and I really like that. In fact, I would have it during the rest of the year, but no one makes stuffing except for during Thanksgiving or maybe Christmas. It seems, I don't know how they sell it. I don't know how they stay in business. But,
And your favorite kind? Are you a stuffing guy, or what's your favorite thing on the plate?
I got to say whatever the smoked meat is.
Okay.
This year we did the meat. We did a smoked pork shoulder, and then we did a turkey.
Yeah. That is so common now. I would say over half of our friends, not everybody's giving up turkey, but a lot of people are saying, we don't really like turkey. It's not our favorite, so let's get another piece of meat that people are going to at least like more. So you can either double up or just opt for the more preferred choice, prime rib, pulled pork, whatever
growing
else
up, we
is.
were always a turkey at Thanksgiving and Christmas family. But since I've been married, we usually do like beef tenderloin at Christmas instead, or Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if you don't like the turkey, it's just because you have bad turkey. You're not cooking it properly.
No, it's not you don't like the turkey.
If you cook it right and season it right, it's really good.
So
if you don't like it, it's because you're just throwing it in the oven and drying it out.
People just don't like it.
Yeah, some
Well,
people
I don't
just
know.
like
Maybe
it.
I'm calling you out, Steve. Maybe I'm calling out.
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I'm fine with my choices.
Yes, and I bet you're.
And I bet we're boring people with too much of what Steve's choices are at this point. They're not that interested.
Hey, I want you guys to make a good choice, and that is to take care of that basement crawl space as well as the waterproofing that needs to happen in our houses. As you're gearing up for 2026, I think it's a great time of year to say, what kind of things at the end of 2026 do I want to look back and say, man, I'm really glad I did that for ourselves, for our family. Making sure that your basement is dry should be great. Making sure that the gutters on your house can actually handle the water flow so you don't create future problems. Taking crawl spaces and making sure that they're insulated so you're not paying too much every month on your bill. Having your driveway leveled so that you're not having a tripping hazard where somebody's going to fall and break their neck, literally, trying to get from point A to point B in your driveway. Those are all things that Woods Basement Systems can take care of you on your to-do list as you're looking forward to say, I want to make sure I maintain my home's value, I take care of it, and I do what it needs to have it last into the next decade for sure. WoodsBasementSystems.com, 618-708-4055.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, Richard West with Overstock Outlet, wishing you and your family a happy holiday season. Visit us at Overstock Outlet. We are the best random store around where you never know what we'll have. We stock shelves daily with name brand products from major box stores. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest inventory. From all of us at Overstock Outlet, we hope you have a blessed Christmas season.
Visit Overstock Outlet in Lake St. Louis at 8621 State Route N or in Warrenton at 604 East Boone's Lick Road and have a happy holiday season.
Okay, so the tree is up, but it's tilting towards the side door. All right, look, you got to get it straight. Go to Schnarr's Hardware, Clayton Road in Ladue or in Webster on Lockwood. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, and they have everything for the holidays, whether it's extra extension cords, maybe a couple of extra lights, last-minute gift. Oh, Aunt Sally's coming. She's bringing you a gift. I got to get something. Schnarr's Hardware will help you out. You need to put the lawn to bed? Yeah, Schnarr's Hardware has all sorts of winterized fertilizers to help you get through these winter months. You see, at Schnarr's Hardware, it's more than just a friendly neighborhood hardware store. It's a part of Americana, and it has brought St. Louisans together for years. So when you walk into Schnarr's Hardware, you'll notice the customer service is great, the smell is great, the popcorn is free. Schnarr's Hardware. Happy holidays from Schnarr's Hardware. Make sure your holiday is complete with a trip to Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware, Merry Christmas.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
I'm Bob Hardcastle. Listen to my Money Talk radio program every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on the Big 550, where we discuss your money in an easy-to-understand manner. We have interesting guests, chat about money. We try to help you feel more comfortable with your money by talking about the investment market. Join me. I'm Bob Hardcastle.
Money Talk, Sunday morning at 8 on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is Mariah, 3rd generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Meet me at the Village Bar. Ready for the world's best cheeseburger, homemade onion rings, trashed wings? It's the Village Bar for food and sports. Cards, blues, Mizzou, NFL, the game's always on. Open 7 days a week in De Pere. Grab your friends, grab a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
KTRS and the U.S. Marines are playing Santa for the 2025 Big 550 Toy Drive. Light up the life of a child by dropping off your new unwrapped Toys for Tots donation at the KTRS studios in Westport Plaza Friday, December 12th from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. as we broadcast live all day from the KTRS Toy Drive headquarters.
I hope you get lots of presents.
The Big 550 KTRS Toy Drive is brought to you by Outdoor Living, Legacy Wealth, Boardwalk Hardwood Floors, Spectrum Eyeglass Repair, and the Big 550 KTRS.
Christmas is here again. Ho, 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 ho.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Welcome back, everybody. Frank and Jill Show. Time check 10:19 on a Monday morning, first day of December. Really glad you're with us. Jill Farmer, Steve Savard co-hosting for the next couple of days as Frank is enjoying some time with family down in Florida. Opening dialogue, first thought for me today. Friday night into Saturday, we got somewhere in the range of 4 to 6 inches of snow in the St. Louis area. Do you have any idea how many you ended up with at your house?
I'll get to that. We're on the same topic.
Okay.
I thought snowfall might be both a part of our opening dialogues.
I just am very curious. We ended up, according to my measurement on a railing, with about 4 inches at our house in the city. And I was very curious because, of course, we know Mayor Tashara Jones, I'm not going to say she lost the election, her re-election campaign because of snow, but there was a factor from last January's snowstorm, a factor in her re-election campaign that a lot of people felt that snow removal in the city of St. Louis was not handled correctly, and that the people were sort of left abandoned and stuck, and the comparison between city and county when it came to the snow removal process was stark. So I want to hear from you guys on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line, 84126. What grade would you give the public works folks in the area where you live? Tell us where you live, how'd they do at getting your roads cleared on Saturday. I know the rain helped us out on this a bit and cut down, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connor, you were literally stranded and could not get into your house last January in Dogtown because there was never any snow removal that happened on your street. Can you tell us what happened for you on Saturday?
Oh, well, nothing close to that. Because the snow was not very icy, very wet snow, and then it rained away most of the snow. So thankfully, it was not that big of a problem. I guess that's what they always hope is going to happen. That way, they don't have to plow.
So you give Mother Nature the thumbs up. You didn't see a snow plow or anything else that necessarily helped.
Yeah, the major thoroughfares were plowed, and there was a few streets that looked like they got some clearance on them. But I don't think it would have been a huge problem even if they hadn't. So I guess it goes to the point where they originally made, where they said they don't feel like they need plows out and about all the time.
Yeah, I do have to say though, I heard the first one out at like 2-something in the morning.
Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
And so I think there was a more concerted effort to get ahead of the snow this time, as opposed to waiting until it was 6 inches and then just deciding, sorry, we don't have the right size snowplows to get down your street, so you'll have to deal with that on your own. So I thought there was and I saw crews out as we were getting back into St. Louis on Friday night. We came back from Des Moines a day early to get there. I thought I could see there was preparations with salt, being laid down ahead of time in a way that I think was helpful.
I think I was in denial. I just thought, no, it's November 1st, December 1st. We're not going to get snow. I didn't take it seriously. I wake up, a snow plow woke me up. I live in St. Charles County. Of new development, the developer's responsible. I got to say this, A+.
Good.
Unlike a lot of folks that lived through that nightmare in the city last year. I thought originally 4 inches based on what I saw on my back deck, but Weldon Spring next door got 6. St. Peter's got 5. I imagine we probably got at least 5. And I'm with Connor. Mother Nature, I was actually happy to see the rain above freezing to get rid of some of that snow and melt some of it. It was a heavy, heavy wet snow. And, we got another 1 or 2 inches on the way. It's amazing. Living in Springfield, only 3 hours southwest of here, they didn't get any snow. I watched all last winter. You guys lived through a couple of bad snowstorms, and it hardly snowed at all down there. So 3 hours southwest, right down 44, makes a big, big difference. The weather is much more severe here, and my golf season just got interrupted.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. It's a first world problem.
A moment of silence
for your golf.
I can
live with it.
Second thought for me today, but by the way, loving these texts. We'll get to them a little bit later about what your thoughts are on the grading you would give snow removal for our first snow of the season, hopefully the last for a little while anyway. Today is the last day, according to experts, for you to enjoy those Thanksgiving leftovers. So again, this is today you can still eat it, but tomorrow you're supposed to get rid of those Thanksgiving leftovers. Frank's really conscientious about this, by the way. He does not ever want to take a risk on something. He had a very bad experience in his 20s. He was actually with Bob Costas in New York City and was served some milk with some chocolate chip cookies at a restaurant that was no longer, the milk should not have been served to him, and he was very, very sick for a long time. So he takes no chances. He's a throw it out rather than take the risk. I probably...
But at least he gets sick with world-known celebrities.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of us get sick in the privacy of our bathroom.
I probably am a little too
That's
guilty
right.
of saying, I think I got one more day here. But according to the experts, most foods last 4 days in the fridge. And after that, you start to have a little risk. Especially, I think on Thanksgiving, the stuff sits out longer than normal, too. So there's probably a little bit of good reason to be slightly more cautious with it.
Second thought for me, unless you've been under a rock or you don't watch any sporting event or any streaming app, you know that sports betting is now legal in Missouri beginning today. We are overwhelmed with commercials for the sports apps, for the sports betting apps, DraftKings, FanDuel, on and on and on. Though I got to say, Kevin Hart makes me laugh every time he opens his mouth.
He is funny.
But I was just curious about how much is this going to bring in? The advertising, you know how it has to be just unbelievable amount of revenue for these apps to advertise as often as they are. First estimate I read was $29 million per year in tax revenue for the state of Missouri. I thought that's low. They estimate that there will be $4 billion placed in wagers in the first year. That really translates to other people saying it's going to be closer to $50 million in revenue for the state. Of course, there are two responses people have. It's great. Everybody else does it. You have to be responsible for yourself. Why give bordering states the money? We should have been doing it all along. And the other school of thought would be, well, unfortunately, there'll be some people who probably can't afford to make the bets that are making the bets. Yeah. And then others will sit, and then the response to that will be, that's up to them. You're responsible for your own self. I would say this, 10% of the revenue has been committed to a compulsory gambling fund, compulsive gambling fund.
Yeah, I think
now, whether or
every bit
not
of
that covers it or not, I'm just going to say this. There's a reason they call it gambling. If you knew you're going to make money, they call it sure thing, but they call it gambling. Be careful.
The house always wins. I'm in the latter group. I just am. I just in the work that I do when I'm wearing the other hat when I'm not here, seeing some devastating thing happen in families. I think the young adult brain, particularly the young adult male brain, that has access to this and not an understanding of the addictive nature and how hard it is. It can be harder to quit than cocaine. I think I think we're asking for trouble. And I know that a lot of people say I'm no fun and I'm the fun police on this, but I think we're headed into an interesting time moving forward. But, I have a lot of friends who do gamble successfully. They say it's just it's a pastime like everything else, and I need to cool my jets on it. But it's been something that I think I don't think. And I'm also skeptical, Steve, because I remember when I first got here in the early 90s, all the great things and all the problems are going to be solved by the lottery and by riverboat gambling. And we were just never going to have any issues with our state budget again because we have all these great things coming in to solve all those problems. And guess what? They haven't solved all those problems for us.
A texter texted in, there's been more gambling site commercials so far this year than Christmas commercials the last 3 years combined. I feel that way.
Yeah.
It's dominating the airwaves. That you know how much revenue is going to be coming in for those sports apps.
Okay, this is the time of year every year we get that Oxford Word of the Year 2025. They tell us this is the word that you should be paying the most attention to. This one was one I had to actually look up because I didn't know what they were talking about. It's called rage bait. It is the Oxford Word of the Year for 2025. Do you know what rage bait is?
I could hazard a guess.
I had to do that too.
Well, I mean, it's
somebody that's baiting you into a reaction.
It's getting yourself increasingly irate while scrolling through a social media feed. So it's falling victim to rage bait. They said it's the term that describes manipulative tactics used to drive engagement online. Usage of it increasing threefold in the last 12 months, according to the dictionary publisher. And so that's why they say rage bait should be what it is that we consider the top of the list for words of 2025. They do always try to pick something that's new or in the vernacular or speaking to a cultural phenomenon. So I think that's fair. Social media does tend to bait a lot of us into feelings, often rage or
See,
frustration.
I wonder if they were actually baiting it, just that maybe it's up to us not to have that visceral reaction that isn't. So maybe put it in perspective or context. I think Connor was going to weigh in on this one, though, too.
Well, I was just going to say, it is a pretty straightforward, even if you don't know what it is, you can put it together, both the words, right? Rage, bait. You're getting baited into being enraged.
Yes, well said. You must have. I can tell you did really well in context clues back when you were learning vocabulary.
Should we allow ourselves to be that enraged by something we're scrolling through and reading?
No, and I think
do you have some personal responsibility? I'm not letting people off the hook. I'm not.
I actually liked the choice of the word because I think we all need to be aware of it.
I enjoyed life before social media. I did. I'm not that I don't enjoy parts of social media. I'm just saying I enjoyed it. I could go back to that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at some point it also falls on some personal responsibility. Sometimes I catch myself saying, just get off the phone.
1,000%. Yeah.
Get off the phone and go watch a documentary. Go read about what you're doing. Research something. Get off social media and actually Google. What I do a lot of times, I Google the topic and then I want to read something that actually has some substance and context to it.
Very well said. Yeah.
But it can kind of be like more than that. Even if it's not serious, it can be for like, I don't know, for something you care about. You care about the Blues. You could be scrolling online. You see someone with a really stupid, inflammatory take, and you're just, well, that's dumb, and you immediately are mad at this person for thinking that, and maybe you're responding. Maybe it's so dumb that you're just like, what's wrong? They're wrong. I know they're wrong, but that they got you.
I'm mad that I was scrolling through the Blues stuff this before half an hour ago, and I'm mad that Toropchenko is out tonight, and I'm mad that Jimmy Snuggerud is out.
But they're
tonight.
like, they should fire Jim Montgomery. It's like, well, no, they should. Well, that's ridiculous. But they've got you. Then they caught you in the rage bait.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the point. It's these phrases of the year that when Oxford chooses it, it's something that we all have to watch ourselves, because guess what? When you get mad about something, you stick around longer on social media. It's all about engagement, how long they can get you to stay clicked into something.
Mm-hmm.
And rage bait is intentional, and the motivation is money by the people who are putting it out there.
I'm going to see my time with the rest of this segment because I know we're over, and I know we got great guests to get to, and I didn't have any I had a third, but we'll try to expand on that tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with the flow here.
Good, and I absolutely
nothing that's going to come out of my mouth in the next 30 seconds is as important as what we're going to talk about with Cardinal Glennon and the Light Up Cardinal Glennon.
Yeah, it is Light Up Glennon tonight. We're going to be talking to some great people who are supporting that in just a couple of minutes. But first, you know who's even busier than the rest of us? We're getting ready for Thanksgiving, and that's our friend Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. He is 1 week away, December 7th, guys. That is when the enrollment period for Medicare ends in 2025. We asked him when you took some listener questions, and I think one of you wise listeners said, why can't we do this whenever we want? Why do we have this silly enrollment period every year? He said, that's a great question. It would make my life a lot easier if they didn't have these deadlines for us when you can sign up for Medicare, when you can make those changes. But those are the rules, and those are ones we have to work within. So having said that, you still have some days here where you can say, gee, I meant to get around to this, or I learned something in a conversation with a loved one over the holidays that helped me rethink what my thoughts are as it relates to my own coverage and Medicare. And I now understand something different about an Advantage plan, and I need to look into that. You still have time to reach out to Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. His cell phone number, write it down, 314-368-6808, or simply go to MedicareManSTL.com. Make that appointment. Get in with Ryan to make those changes you need within the enrollment period. For the right plan, call the Medicare man.
And now, KTRS weather.
Another shot of accumulating snow heads our way later today. Cloudy and cold through the morning, But we'll keep it dry until the afternoon when light snow begins to move in. And with a high of only 29, boy, everything that falls will stick to untreated surfaces. So let's be ready for some slick spots for the evening rush. But on and off snow will continue through the evening and into tonight as well. Most of us get a quick 1 to 2 inches out of this, but a few spots could see a little bit more. I think roads will be in good shape by the Tuesday morning drive, although it's cold Tuesday morning, 21 for the low, and then 31 tomorrow afternoon and partly cloudy. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers for the Big 550 KTRS.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Way back in time, if you had a leak in the roof of your hut, I imagine you had to find a tree close by, scale it, and then jump and hope you could get up there and see what was wrong. Then came the advent of the ladder. There was an easier way to get up there and see if something was wrong. And with modern technology, we finally get around to the drone. Now, the folks at Allen Roofing use those instead of trees and ladders. Send a drone up, find out if there's anything wrong with your roof, get some pictures, go over it with you, and see if there's a problem, how bad it is, what they could do, what it'll cost. Or if everything's just fine, they will tell you that too. Boy, it's so nice we don't have to climb trees to look at our hut. Allen Roofing embracing technology and doing quality roof repair, siding, gutters, everything for the outside of your home. Just ask Gronk. He was one of the first customers. It's Allen Roofing. Find him online at aroofing.net.
Are you looking for a simple, clean, budget-friendly, no surprises, no gimmicks remodel of your bathroom? Michael's Baths is who you call. Right now, when you call Michael's Baths at 636-775-0800, you'll get an estimate that's 30 to 50% less of everybody else, and they'll throw in a free shower door or $500 off a bath remodel. Michael's Baths, for 30-plus years, guaranteed happiness. michaelsbaths.com.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community, with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels, with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
Shop, snack, and be merry on a Wind Down Wednesday, December 3rd from 3 to 9 at the Hill Antique Market's Christmas Extravaganza. The Heidi Show will be there from 3 to 6. There'll be a cash bar and snacks. You'll get 10% discount on merchandise all day. Santa will be there from 4 to 7. There'll be raffles and plenty of surprises, and you'll help support more than 75 local vendors and pop-up stores. That's Wednesday, December 3rd from 3 to 9 at the Hill Antique Market's Christmas Extravaganza at 4923 Daggett on the Hill.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've got some important news from our friends at Dalco Home Remodeling. You know they're locally owned and family operated. More importantly, they've been installing the very best windows and doors in town for the past 50 years. That great offer that they have on windows at Dalco has now been extended through the end of the month, so you can still earn a $600 tax credit on new windows. Plus, Dalco has upped the ante to an additional $260 credit per window for up to 10 of their Elite Series windows with 0% financing for up to 18 months. That's up to $3,200 in credits. The Energy Star tax credit offer is ending forever and will not return. So you've got to act fast. This incredible offer ends through the end of the month. So you call today, 314-298-7300 to get up to $3,200 in credits for up to 10 new energy-efficient windows. Or go online, DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. If you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved with Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call 314-298-7300. See store for details.
Welcome back, everybody. Success St. Louis style. On Mondays, we talk to successful people in St. Louis doing great things in the world of business and in our community. Very glad today to be joined by RJ Crunk, CEO of Ronald McDonald House. And RJ, you know, I've been on a couple of not-for-profit boards, and I remember there was somebody who was in a Fortune 500 company in St. Louis, and he said about our executive director, this person could run any Fortune 500 company in the United States. They have to do so many things in this position as executive director of a major not-for-profit. And what you're doing, but he instead of going into the more lucrative world of business, he wanted to do something with a little more meaning that matters. You've done the same thing. You've been in the not-for-profit world, Boy Scouts, the United Way for a number of years, and then for the last year at Ronald McDonald House. Why did you make that career decision?
For me, it was about doing more than just earning a paycheck. It was about doing something for others. I'd always been raised that way. And when I got a chance to go to United Way, it was just, for me, it kind of filled both buckets. A good career and great outcomes for the work that you do, and you get to see it every day in our community. So for me, it really was a no-brainer. It was just a perfect fit for what I wanted to do. And on the competitive side, kind of raising money and having the outcomes and the impact kind of filled that kind of side of me as well. So for me, it was a win-win. And you know, you get to lay your head down every night on the pillow and think, hey, I did good today.
Yeah, you're a year into this job, and in just discussing this and bringing us up to speed in the commercial break, I can sense the pride you take in this. And you said you're enjoying this. Now, it's a little bit of, you got to deal with a little bit of sad.
Yeah.
But what you're doing, I guess you get feedback immediately. What you're doing for families, didn't realize this, that the first Ronald McDonald House in St. Louis opened in '81. You now have two, totaling 92 rooms. You can help almost 100 families.
Yep. And we'll serve almost 1,000 families this year that come to St. Louis. And to be able to be eligible to come to our house, you have to live at least 50 miles outside of our houses. So last year in 24, we served families from 15 countries and 22 states, and those numbers will grow this year. We've almost doubled the number of families served. The Grove House, the new house that expanded to 72 rooms, almost doubled the number of families we can serve. So we get to see, it's challenging situations with families that come here. Kids are critically ill. They're dealing with situations that a family never wants to deal with, never hopes to deal with. But we get to play a small part in that recovery and making sure that they stay close to their kids while they're going through this situation.
A lot of people in the world define success as how much money is in their bank account, or whether they've gotten an increase in job title or stature. I would love to know how you, RJ Crunk, CEO of Ronald McDonald House, define success as a person for yourself, and how you define it for what happens at Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, so I'll start with Ronald McDonald House. For us, it's about impact. It's about the number of families we can serve. So we've got the two houses. We also have the family rooms, and the family rooms are inside the hospitals that family can go to and find respite while they're there. Get away from the hospital room a little bit. So we'll serve almost 60,000 visitors there, and so for us, it's about serving families. And so if we can keep serving more families and helping them on that healthcare journey to be close to their child, because we know from research, if the family's involved in that on a day-to-day basis, the outcomes are way improved. They're much better for the kid. Then that for us is how we view success. For me personally, that's a great question. I've never really looked at it that way, because I've never viewed what I do about me. I've always viewed it about the organization and the people that we're trying to serve. And so the more families that we can serve, the more people that we can help, is how I view success, not only for the organization, but for myself personally.
Here's what I always assumed about it, though. I assumed that every family that's helped has a child that's in the hospital and staying at the hospital. That's not the case. You have a lot of pediatric patients running around the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, we sure do. We about half the families that we serve, their kids will be with us. They're having either a pediatric kind of surgery or correction. We also have an immune suppressed wing for families that are dealing with cancer or organ transplant, so they're going through chemo or radiation. So we've got that isolated hallway set up in our Grove House. And we also have short stay rooms, and those are folks who have gone home but need to come back for a treatment or an appointment or a checkup. So we actually have quite a few families and kids that are staying in the house. So we, every day we get to walk into one of our houses. We have the two houses you mentioned, and we get to see the family. So we get to see the impact right there, and that makes it even more fulfilling.
I was really surprised by this statistic in doing a little bit of research that an average stay for a family is 29 days. I mean, I just think about the disruption to people's jobs and the expense of paying for a hotel room every night and the fact that you guys are able to help ease that for them.
Yeah, and so the majority of the families that stay with us can't afford to pay. So on average, it costs the Ronald McDonald House about $125 a night because we provide food. We now provide transportation back and forth because a lot of our families are challenged with transportation issues. In addition, we've also got a business office. So you mentioned for the families that come, now they can work remote if they need to. So we've got a place for them to hook up, and they can print off a printer. They've got a quiet place to do that. We've also got a place for the kids. So a lot of the families have kids that come with them. So during school, if they can do remote school, they can do that at our facilities as well. So we really try to not only just provide a place for them to stay, but also a place to also provide some of the other needs that they have.
You have 1,000 volunteers. There's another statistic that stood out to me. Okay,
yeah.
How do people get involved, and what does volunteering for Ronald McDonald House encompass?
We love our volunteers. I think we have the best volunteers in any organization in our community. We have a really small staff, so we serve almost 1,000 families. We got 92 rooms. We got the 4 family rooms in the hospitals at the 4 hospitals, the 3 hospitals here in St. Louis. So we have 48 staff. So the volunteers for us are our lifeblood. I mean, I keep saying, and they're the secret sauce that allows us to serve so many families.
I was going to say 48 doesn't sound like a whole lot when you're talking about serving 100 families at a time.
Yeah, no, it's not. And so our families do a little bit of everything. They'll sit at the front desk and they'll do intake for us. They'll serve in our kitchen. They'll work in our kitchen. They'll help clean the house. They just do a little bit of everything for us. We could not do this at the level we do it without our volunteers. And so when we say 1,000 volunteers, that's 1,000 engaged volunteers. Those are volunteers that actually come and work with us on a repeated basis throughout the year to help us serve the families.
RJ Crunk, before we let you go, Giving Tuesday coming up tomorrow, end of year, time to get those charity donations in for the tax benefits as well. How can somebody help do support the incredible work you guys are doing at Ronald McDonald House?
So I'll give you the easy way. The easy way is just go through any of our local McDonald's. Complete your order. That's one of our key partners in our community. They're about 35% of our total budget through the Roundup program. And then also you can go to our website, rmhcstl.org, and we've got a give button on there. You can donate now. We're in our fall campaign, so we're trying to round out to make sure that the families have everything they need through the end of the year. So that's a great time to do that for us here at the Ronald McDonald House.
That's how I define success as well, making life better for families in tough situations.
And I bet you get to watch kids ring that bell and the family leave as a family unit.
Yeah, we got a bell out back, and so when they get to go home, they get to ring that bell, and that's one of the best days at Ronald McDonald House.
So good. Hey, Capital Advisory Group, our friends help to make a lot of best days for people who are their clients. That's because they are so good at helping you understand something called a tax-informed investment strategy, a fancy way of saying making sure you don't overpay on your taxes so that your money grows for you and you can live your retirement dreams. Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist, Wealth Advisor, author extraordinaire of the book, Keep What's Yours, the title of the show he does every single weekend here. It is appointment radio for many of you because there's so much usable information you can use when it comes to your own personal finances. But if you're ready to wrap up 2025 and say, I want to do better in 2026, make that appointment today with Jeff and his team. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com, 636-394-5524.
Winter's here. The rain, the sleet, the snow, the salt. It gets all over your car, and you need to get it washed. And we prefer you keep it local, which is why Country Club Car Wash is your car wash of choice. And now they've got a deal for you. Between now and December 15th, when you go into a Country Club Car Wash, you buy 5 car washes, and you get the next 5 for free for a total of 10. Buy 5, get 10. Available at all 5 stores. Make sure it says Country Club Car Wash, or cccwstl.com.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Time to play word association. Are you ready?
Yep.
C.R. Frank popcorn.
Oh, gourmet popcorn, tins made to order, caramel corn made with real butter, hand-packed and guaranteed fresh.
Good. Now try while eating some C.R. Frank popcorn.
Is this a Chicago style?
Yes, a sweet and salty blend of caramel and cheese.
And their popcorn tins are unique.
Oh, my turn for the popcorn. C.R. Frank popcorn.
Fun Foods popcorn machines for home theaters.
C.R. Frank popcorn.
5757 North Lindbergh and Hazelwood. Go to crfrankpopcorn.com.
The gift of good taste.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Recently, a good friend of mine was changing the light fixture in their kitchen, and they took the light fixture off the ceiling, and they looked inside the ceiling and said, "What is the phone number to Michael Baldy?" If they would have listened to me, they would have put Michael Baldy's phone number in their phone, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. So here you go. The next time you need an electrician, you need to remember Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. So the phone number, 314-968-9999. Indoor, outdoor, an old Victorian home, knob and tube wiring, and anything and everything in between. You see, Michael Baldy is a licensed electrician, and he has a team ready to go. Whether it's something for the ceiling in the kitchen, something for the lights for the holidays, whatever it may be, Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. BaldyElectric.com, 314-968-9999, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. BaldyElectric.com.
It's the holiday season at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. If you're coming to St. Charles for shopping or Christmas traditions, make Gingham's a must-stop. Quality homestyle meals and heartwarming soups prepared and served by our excellent staff. And the best pies around make this holiday season special at Gingham's. Wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. From the owners, management, and staff at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
To make a donation, visit Glennon.org and click the Give button and help support the important work that Cardinal Glennon provides in changing lives. Light Up Glennon, presented by SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, Ameren, and the Big 550 KTRS, along with Fisher and Fritchell, Prairie Farms, Gingham's, Appliance Discounters, Outdoor Living Inc., Overstock Outlet, Beatty Roofing, Benjamin F. Edwards, and M1 Bank are proud to bring you
Light Up Glennon.
Welcome back, everybody. Light Up Glennon tonight. A lot of people's favorite day of the year, singing carols and helping to support the incredible work at Cardinal Glennon. You'll notice a theme on today's show. Giving Tuesday is coming up tomorrow, and of course, KTRS takes very seriously its job to be a pillar in the community, support worthwhile charities and the incredible work they are doing out in the world. And of course, many of our clients and companies in St. Louis take that seriously as well. Light Up Glennon wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the support of companies like Beatty Roofing, third-generation roofing company, helping to make the lights go on at Glennon tonight. Matt Beatty, the third generation of roofers at Beatty, is joining us as well. Why Light Up Glennon? Why Cardinal Glennon? Why did you guys decide as a company this is a worthwhile place for you to support?
Well, I chose to sponsor Light Up Glennon because I wanted Beatty Roofing to be involved with bringing as much holiday cheer to the children at Cardinal Glennon as possible. They have all been through so much and deserve some joy during the holidays.
Well said. Yeah, that's 100% true.
What are you most looking forward to? What kind of impact, what kind of feedback can you get from your association with Cardinal Glennon that will make it all worthwhile for you?
Just that we can create some relationships out of it, and people will remember that we were part of something to bring happiness to the children.
Beatty Roofing has a great reputation. You guys have been doing this since your grandpa started the business back in the mid-'50s, and that's something that a lot of people can't do, is keep it going generation after generation. Matt, as we mentioned, you're the third generation. 2025, strange year when it came to all the storms in our area. I would think a busy year for you guys, a successful year. And as well, how caught up are you now on the roof replacements and storm damage that so many people needed help with this year?
We're pretty caught up so far. We still have some minor projects to complete, but with it getting colder out, we were able to get caught up pretty quick.
You get to take a breath for a second, because it's
Definitely,
been a very busy 2025.
Can you compare
I would imagine.
the damage you saw after May was it as expansive as any other storms in recent memory, or was it more?
It was probably about the same. I mean, we had a lot to do with the tornado that hit the airport.
Yes, in 2011.
And, we helped out with the cleanup after that. So, the May tornado downtown, I went down there to look at some buildings and stuff, and it was pretty substantial. With all the trees and everything, it kind of made it look like a hurricane went through.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of damage for sure.
I've said this before. I'm always interested in people who have the entrepreneurial spirit. I've never have. To be a business owner, it sounds great to be a boss. Man, there's got to be some bad, long days, too. You're not a guy that just came into it by luck. You worked at this. In fact, I wouldn't say a guy knows the roofing business at all if he's an owner until he falls off a roof, and you've done that, even yourself back in the day, right?
Yes.
You learned the hard way.
Oh, yeah. I was on the roofs. I was out in the field doing all the work, and that was kind of the point was to learn how it all got put on, how it all came off before I could ever even entertain the idea of becoming the owner. So it kind of taught me a lot of lessons that I still hold today.
And you fell off the roof but still wanted to stay in the business.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah, it really is. And we should say before we let you go, Matt Beatty of Beatty Roofing, you guys do a lot of, in the commercial side of things too, such a good reputation. So many of our businesses in St. Louis, when they have that unfortunate storm damage or just age and other things, they need to get a new roof, they turn to another business that they can trust, and that is Beatty Roofing. So you do both the commercial and residential.
Of course, yes.
We do. If somebody wants to get more information about Beatty Roofing, where should they go?
They could visit us online at BeattyRoofing.com or give us a call at 892-1331.
That's great. And it's BADE Roofing is how, but pronounced Beatty. And thank you so much for your support of Light Up Glennon to help make it so special for the kids at Cardinal Glennon. We appreciate
Absolutely.
it. And
thank you.
Certainly so do our friends at Cardinal Glennon as well. Hey, you guys, one more day left. Miller Furniture, they've had the Black Friday sale, which of course has been going on for most of the month of December. And Black Friday was last Friday, but they extended it for those of us who are procrastinators, hand raised in the air right here, until December 2nd. That's tomorrow. You have till tomorrow to take advantage of some of these incredible sales, especially if your back has been hurting or you've been saying, I had the experience a few years ago. Every time I'd go to a hotel, I'd think, boy, I slept great. Boy, my back feels better. And my husband and I looked at each other and said, maybe that's because our mattress at home needs to be replaced, which we did. And you guys can do that too with some great deals on Stearns & Foster, on Chatham and Wells, at the Fairview Heights store, which is the largest selection, not just of all the 4 Miller Furniture sites, but of all furniture stores in the entire area. They have the largest selection of mattresses at Miller Furniture. Go to millerfurniture.com, MUELLER furniture.com, to check out some of the great sales still happening through tomorrow on the Black Friday sale, or better yet, visit them at one of their 4 fabulous locations, the flagship in Belleville, Ellisville, Missouri, Fairview Heights, the Warehouse Showroom, or in Lake St. Louis, Missouri. Lots more coming up, including our favorite political scientist, Anita Mannion from UMSL, to talk politics with us right after the news.
This holiday season, I feel like Manchester Road, just west of 141, is just one of the fantastic spots in St. Louis you need to be. Marketplace at the Abbey has everything to make your home feel like Santa's workshop. All kinds of wonderful gifts for people. Also, there's the Abby Baby and then the Abby's ladies clothing section. So many gift ideas, so many wonderful things that have already been curated by Laura Wilson, the owner. You can always go online too, marketplace at theabbey.com.
You've heard so many people talk about Innsbruck. Now it's time to see for yourself. 7,500 acres, 100+ lakes, on-site restaurants, an 18-hole championship golf course for you to go play by yourself, with some friends, or maybe even a charity event, nature trails, event spaces, and so much more. Innsbruck is 45 minutes from St. Louis. It's so close, and yet you feel so far away. Go see Innsbruck for yourself. Innsbruck-resort.com.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
KTRS St. Louis.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Supreme Court hearing arguments today on a case involving illegal streaming. Cox is appealing lower court's decisions after a jury decided the broadband provider should face a $1 billion penalty to Sony Music Entertainment and other media companies that sued over distribution and pirated content. ABC's Devin Dwyer on the stakes.
Every day, billions of people illegally stream or download copyrighted material like music, movies, or TV shows. The key question before the Supreme Court is, are internet companies complicit in those copyright infringements simply by giving online pirates access to the web?
There is growing bipartisan support for an investigation into the U.S. military strikes on Venezuelan alleged drug vessels in the Caribbean. That after the Washington Post reported 2 men were killed in September during a second strike after surviving the first U.S. hit, which could be a violation of war laws. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth standing by his decisions to launch those strikes. ABC's Karen Travers has details.
We have heard Republicans and Democrats for weeks now saying they wanted to hear more information from the administration about these strikes. Details about who they were targeting, details about who have been killed, these 83 people so far. And now this particular report has certainly set off a firestorm on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers from both parties say we need to look into this.
Suspect Luigi Mangione, charged in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO in New York City, is in court for a critical pretrial hearing.
Mangione's attorneys are trying to limit prosecutors from using key evidence, including a 3D printed gun and purported journal writings they say police illegally obtained last year when they searched Mangione's backpack during his arrest without a warrant. Peter Haralambous, ABC News, New York.
It is Cyber Monday, and it comes on the heels of Black Friday. Retailers calling it a good start weekend to the holiday season. Estimated $11.8 billion online Friday alone. Americans spent, up from last year. You're listening to ABC News.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Too much on your plate? Get 50% off your first 6 months of payroll at gusto.com/radio. Gusto saves you 2 days every month on payroll, taxes, and compliance. So you can go from payroll to pumpkin pie, filing taxes to raising glasses, counting hours to counting blessings. There's no need to transfer payroll history when you switch before the end of the year, and you'll be thankful you did. Choose a future with Gusto and get more time for what matters. For a limited time, get 50% off your first 6 months at gusto.com/radio.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. MoDOT is urging motorists to avoid travel with tonight's expected snowfall if possible. MoDOT officials say the weekend snow, along with below freezing temperatures, will create hazardous road conditions with this next round of snow. The Missouri Highway Patrol is reminding motorists to prepare for tonight's next round of winter weather. This means having a full tank of gas and an emergency kit should you become stranded. The patrol responded to over 100 crashes during the weekend storm. And the city of St. Louis is increasing its winter operations to help those in need. More from KTRS's Jill Enders.
The city of St. Louis is stepping up its winter operations due to below freezing temperatures and more snow in the forecast. The city has increased the number of shelter beds to 285, and shelters have moved to around-the-clock operations. Now, those in need of a shelter or transportation to a shelter should call the United Way at 211. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
We'll have the weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. Tonight, the city of St. Louis will host its first town hall on the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, also known as RECA. Just Moms STL is teaming up with the Board of Aldermen President Megan Green to hold the event. The program is paying victims of radioactive waste, and 2 of the affected 21 zip codes are in the city of St. Louis. The town hall will be online from 6 until 7:30 this evening. A man is dead after an officer-involved shooting in Maryland Heights. Police say this all unfolded last night when officers responded to a report of a man with a gun inside of the Walgreens on Dorset. When officers arrived, they encountered the suspect. Police say the suspect fired at the officers. One officer returned fire, killing the suspect. Missouri sports betting begins today. People are legally allowed to place bets on professional sports from their phones and computers or at licensed casinos and professional sports venues. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Missouri is among the top 20 states for high salaries for graduates of trade schools. That's according to a new study by university ranking site Research.com, which ranked the Show Me State at number 10, with graduates earning nearly $68,000 a year on average. Georgia tops the list for trade school graduate salaries with an average of nearly $87,000 a year. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Wall Street right now, Dow Jones down 211 points to 47,501. S&P 500 is down 14 points to 6,835. NASDAQ down 40 points to 23,325. KTRS Sports, the Billikens are elite. The St. Louis University men's soccer team is headed to the NCAA men's soccer quarterfinals after defeating Bryant 4-3 in penalty kicks. And after a strong weekend with wins on Friday and Saturday, the St. Louis Blues face off against the Anaheim Ducks at Enterprise Center tonight at 7. KTRS weather today cloudy, high of 30. Tonight, another round of snow expected with an overnight low of 22. We could see 1 to 2 inches of snow. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high of 31. Currently, we have 27 degrees, winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour, creating a real feel of 20 degrees. Time right now is 11:07. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Your donation does change lives. Visit Glennon.org and click the Give button. Light Up Glennon, presented by SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, Ameren, and the Big 550 KTRS, along with Fisher and Fritchell, Prairie Farms, Gingham's, Appliance Discounters, Outdoor Living Inc., Overstock Outlet, Beatty Roofing, Benjamin F. Edwards, and M1 Bank are proud to bring you
Light Up Glennon.
Welcome back to the second hour of the Frank and Jill Show. Jill Farmer here, along with Steve Sabard, sitting in for Frank, who's got a few days off. Always fun to have Steve in the house. Connor McCarthy here as well. And our favorite political scientist, Anita Mannion from University of Missouri St. Louis, is here to talk about some things happening in the world of politics. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I have a good friend who is a lifelong Republican, voted for President Trump twice, and but has some challenges at times with some of the things, particularly that the president says. He brought up to me this weekend, he said, one of the reasons I voted for President Trump in this last round of elections is I felt like the media during his first run went crazy with every single thing he said, to the point where we didn't actually know what was happening in the world because they were reacting to his rhetoric. He said, I don't feel like the media is doing that as much this time, but I wonder, these are his exact words, if we've become used to it. He was not happy with the president's statements on social media the day after Thanksgiving, where he used the R word to describe somebody in public office, particularly a governor, I think, of the state of Minnesota. Where do we stand on reactionism or impact of the president's, if you love him, disruptive and vociferous, or he comes in strong with opinions that matter? If you don't, rhetoric that can be really divisive. Where do we stand on how it's impacting in politics today?
Yeah, we've seen, part of this is it's baked in with President Trump, right? As you said, in both of his campaigns and in his previous administration, he has been known to say things that are, going back to the Access Hollywood tapes and forward, that it's sort of baked in, that people know he does this. And a lot of folks who support him even say, gosh, I wish he would tone down the rhetoric, but I like his policies. I like other things he's doing. Recently, we seem to have seen a rash of him using these words like piggy, ugly, etc. around female journalists. There's been a rash of that. Part of it, I think, is that President Trump hasn't had the best month. This has been a tough month for him with the Democrats winning elections, with the Epstein files, controversy, other things. And so he tends to lash out when feels like he's underwater. His approval ratings are down. But there are real implications for this. 82% of Americans think that our rhetoric creates political violence. And, journalists, election officials, others who have been tagged with these sort of words do receive threats. And we have seen political violence in some of these instances. So I think it is serious, but I think it also is, in a way, baked into how people perceive President Trump.
Here in Missouri, Governor Mike Kehoe ran for office, identifying his number one priority objective in his first term was eliminating the state income tax.
That's right.
No easy feat. The harder feat is replacing the revenue you'd be missing. Up to 50 to 60% of the estimated state revenues come in from income tax. That money has to be replaced somehow. They floated some ideas. Some Republicans have floated the ideas of taxing things on like haircuts and lawn services. That won't replace the money. That's only part of what. Have we seen any legitimate public polling? Where do Missourians really stand on the idea of eliminating the state income tax? Because it sounds good on paper, but it may not be great for everybody involved here.
That's right. I think for most of us, we think, oh, gosh, if I didn't have to pay income tax, that would be great. The current tax rate in Missouri is 4.7%. And so you think about saving, 4.5%, 5% of your income. But the state still has to have that funding, right? The original estimate, I think, was that it would cost about $126 million a year, but that was revised, the fiscal note, to say about $626 million a year. And that's money that goes to education, to the criminal justice system, to social services. And so, probably some of those programs will receive cuts. Government employees in Missouri might be cut. And then B, they're still going to have to recoup some of that money somewhere. So like you were saying, Steve, they're talking about sales tax, maybe extending sales tax to services and things like that. Generally, if you think about it, people who make more money would pay more income tax. So if you revert that to a sales tax, that ends up being a larger percentage of lower income people's money. So you do kind of shift that distribution a bit. And also, usually lower income people receive some of those services. And a lot of us have kids who are in K through 12 schools, and so they would feel those effects too.
Well, the push is on right now because I couldn't help but notice this weekend 4 new commercials
Yeah.
running. Not maybe they were the same commercial, but I saw 4 different ones for the first time, pushing the Kehoe's idea of we must eliminate. We got to put more money back in the. We trust our taxpayers to do what they want to do with their money rather than the government having it.
Yeah, and we know people
So the push is on.
That's right. And the messaging is probably good because people are feeling this affordability crunch. Prices are up, the holidays are happening, tariffs and inflation and all these different things. But in the Missouri State Legislature this year, we became the first state to eliminate the capital gains tax. And that's usually wealthier people benefit from that, and it's going to be a phase-in for corporations. So that's another tax benefit that largely goes to wealthier Missourians and will further diminish Missouri's revenue.
Will there be bipartisan support for an elimination of of a state income tax, or is this another place where we are just divided along party lines?
That's a really good question. It remains to be seen on the capital gains vote. I think there was one Democrat who voted with Republicans, but basically a party line vote. Now, maybe income tax might be less controversial than capital gains because it's a broader cut that would affect more people. But I don't expect many Democrats to support that, mostly because, they are aligned with the teachers union and other groups, lower income Missourians who benefit from those programs.
Here's something I wasn't aware of. Catherine Hanaway, the Attorney General of Missouri, advancing an historic $24 billion judgment against China, suing China for damages for unleashing and worsening the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, China didn't even show up in court to defend itself. It's not taking this seriously. Does this have any teeth, or is this political theater?
So we saw then Attorney General Josh Hawley, then Attorney General Eric Schmidt do some of these things where you have lawsuits that's part of the power of the Attorney General that are largely symbolic. They're not going to go anywhere, but you're showing your folks that you're taking a stand. And I think that's what Hanaway is doing here. Like you said, China didn't even show up. Correct. Yeah, I think the idea that she's going to win a settlement for Missouri is really a long shot.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about gerrymandering, the word that we just can't seem to get rid of.
That's right.
And of course, it's, this is me not as a political scientist, unlike you, of course, Anita Mannion, who is a political science and understands this to many deeper levels than I do. But it just seems like it's the hungry ghost that's never going to get fed. So if you have a state a legislature that is going to be one party, then you're going to be willing to redistrict every single election to try to give whoever's trying to win a national office more votes, particularly in the House, obviously, is what we're talking about here. Is gerrymandering just always going to be political shenanigans that we don't have representation that really has to do with geographic lines anymore?
Yeah, gerrymandering, the term goes back to the 1800s when it was happening then. And so it's certainly not a new phenomenon. It is more intense now because we have the computing power and the information to do such granular knowledge of who votes and where they live. So, for example, last time Missouri did redistricting, I haven't moved in 12 years, but I was in District 2 with Ann Wagner. Well, they drew her district to be more Republican, and my little house in Brentwood is now part of District 1 because part of the strategy is, maybe blocks of voters you think might be Democratic, you put together, and then Republican you put together. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out in Missouri. So what is happening that's very unusual now is this mid-decade change, because everyone drew their maps several years ago. And now, under pressure from the president, is why we're having this surge in redistricting. This isn't something that usually happens. It's actually very unusual. And Missouri is one of those states who listened to the president, called a special session, redrew our maps. But now that's actually under contention. A friend you may know from St. Louis Public Radio, Jason Rosenbaum, actually helped the Republican leadership realize that opponents of this redistricting had a path forward. So if you go to the grocery store or the farmer's market or someone, you might have seen people collecting signatures. So there is a path that if there's enough signatures, there can be a referendum. And so it's likely, they have until December 11th, but it's likely that this will go on the ballot. So we'll have a vote.
Very interesting stuff. Anita Mannion from University of Missouri, St. Louis, political scientist. You always give us such a good perspective as well. Thanks so much for taking the time to be back with us here today. McKnight Place, our friends, of course, at McKnight Place Senior Living here in St. Louis do a beautiful job at helping all year round, making sure that your family member is taken care of and feels at home and feels comfortable and feels like, I really can enjoy, relax, celebrate this season of life. What happens around the holidays is a lot of families, we've seen this in my own family, some of you as well, you spend time with a loved one who is aging, and you guys come to hopefully a mutual understanding that things are changing, physical challenges are happening. Taking care of all those things that are such a pain around the house, especially in St. Louis as we're gearing up for winter, becomes a little more overwhelming. It becomes a little less safe for you to walk outside and do things like get to your car because of slippery sidewalks. And you want to avoid those dreaded falls that can be life-changing or in some cases even life-ending when somebody breaks a hip. So it is a really busy time of year in life, but it's also a really good time to begin some of those courageous conversations with each other about how, if you're aging, if you're experiencing some physical limitations, how do you want the rest of your life to look? How do you want to be able to thrive in this season of life? And our friends at McKnight Place have the training, the expertise to be able to walk you and your family members through those courageous conversations and make a decision that you will love when it comes to being able to live the life you dream of in your retirement years. McKnightPlace.com, 314-993-3333.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's Julie Buck inviting you to join us for the annual Rusted Chandelier Open House. Come sip and shop and buy all the goodies to deck your halls at the Rusted Chandelier. They're located in Kirkwood at Manchester and Folger. You do not want to miss this store, especially during the holidays. Absolutely everything to decorate your home and get your cozy on this holiday season at the Rusted Chandelier.
It's time to start pulling the sweaters and pullovers out of the closet. But wait, the Blues have rebranded and we've got something new for you to add to your winter wardrobe. On December 9th, when the Blues face off against the Bruins at Enterprise Center, the first 10,000 fans will score a cozy quilted quarter zip thanks to Pepsi Zero Sugar. This gray pullover features a stitched blue note on the front and the new STL mark on the back, so you can rep your team and your city all winter long. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com/tickets.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpet sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Alliance is rebranding to Reese Nichols, a Missouri-born real estate company established 125 years ago. The same trusted agents who've served St. Louis for 45 years now have the backing of Missouri's most trusted brokerage. With offices across the metro and in-house mortgage, title, and insurance, Reese Nichols makes your move seamless. They proudly support the Ronald McDonald House, raising over $1.5 million for Missouri families. Visit ReeseNichols.com to learn
Hey,
more.
it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Hey, it's Heidi Glaus, and I want to remind you to tune in to the Heidi Glaus Show with Bob Ramsey and Josh Gilbert weekdays from 3 to 6. You don't want to miss all the fun. Plus, twice a month, we're joined by Dr. Ravi Johar, the Chief Medical Officer for United Healthcare. Dr. Johar and United Healthcare will keep us informed and educated about everything happening in the healthcare system, plus important facts to keep us healthy. United Healthcare and the Heidi Glaus Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
The Bommarito Automotive Group has been your number one choice for all your automotive needs for over 51 years. They offer you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can check them out online today at bommarito.com.
Want a song?
You're on my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. Should be the Steve and Jill Show today. Steve Savard sitting in for Frank, who's enjoying a little bit of family catch-up time. Mother-in-law down in Florida. Steve, it's always fun to have you. People on the text line welcoming you as well. I know when you sit in with Frank, when I'm gone, they're like, who's Jill? Why don't we get Steve back here all the time? It's always very fun to have you. Hey, great conversations on the Royal Banks, Missouri text line. Before we get to the song of the day and the quote of the day, thanks for the welcome back text, by the way, and welcomes to Steve, as we mentioned. Definitely talking about snow removal. Several of you said things looked pretty darn good where you were, but you also conceded that Mother Nature helped with the rain out for the last 4 hours. You know, just north of us, Steve, they got 10 inches or more because all that rain we got when the temperatures went up on Saturday afternoon was snow. From the 636, I live in the Wildwood area. The removal was great. I was a little disappointed on the major highways, not so great as well. And so you said that. We also talked a little bit about gambling and the fact that it's here. Some of you are very, very happy about that news, happy to see all the commercials, some others not so much. From the 314, people will never understand how gambling affects families until they have lived it. A lot of people will soon find out, and well said. And then a question, we had a conversation in our Success St. Louis with R.J. Crunk from the Ronald McDonald House, asking how much families are charged at Ronald McDonald House. It's a sliding scale. So if you can afford it, you can help defray the cost of staying there. Many, many of the people who stay there pay nothing because they cannot afford it. It would be onerous for their family to be able to do that. And so all of what they are provided, food, overnight accommodations, daytime support and services for families with kids in the hospital, with a room in the hospital, all of that is covered.
Well, RJ, we knew each other from his days, the United Way, and
your
my
time at the
days
Rams,
doing the Rams games, and to see him light up talking about 1 year in as CEO of Ronald McDonald House. He's done a lot of great work in the St. Louis community in past, but it seems personal to him. Seems really, really rewarding for him, and it's got to be tough at sometimes too, because you know. But I will just tell you this, when I see a kid ringing a cancer bell, checking out of a hospital in front of a long line of nurses and family and friends, I get emotional just looking at that. Seeing a kid with a shaved head having to go through cancer at that young age. So he gets to see it firsthand, and he gets to impact families' lives. And I didn't realize this, almost 100 families at a time can be served in those two Ronald McDonald houses.
Yeah, and over 1,000 a year. Those are pretty great stats. And of course, thinking about charities near and dear to your heart, tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. We're going to be talking about a little bit later in the show to a great local charity speaking of supporting families in need. Duo Dogs you'll hear about a way that you can support them tomorrow as well. And of course, tonight's Light Up Glennon. It's such a great event every single year. Heidi Glaus is going to be there, and people will be out with flashlights or their phone cameras lighting up as they sing Christmas carols to the kids who are at Cardinal Glenning receiving treatment this time of year. Nobody ever wants to be a kid having to receive treatment in a hospital, but we're so lucky here in St. Louis to have Cardinal Glennon supporting families, and we hope many, many of our listeners will bundle up tonight and get out to Light Up Glennon to support the incredible work that is happening there. Song of the day today, I had I had one outfit planned, Steve, and then I looked at the temperature and it was in the 20s, and I just grabbed I look like a snowman. If you are watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, I have a sweater that's huge and very cozy. And so, song of the day, we picked something from The Neighborhood, name of the group, 2013, and it's called Sweater Weather. I was a little familiar with this song, but I was mostly today years old when I listened to it. But it was a pretty big hit back
This
in the
song
mid
has
2000s.
almost 1 billion plays on YouTube, which is baffling to me. I've never heard of this song.
It was a top 10 Billboard, I think, hit in its time. But yeah, I sort of knew of it, but I was mostly today years old. So this counts, guys. If you want to tell your kids or grandkids that you were exposed yourself to some new music, technically it's from 2013, but let's call it new music.
What's
to
the
us,
group?
The Neighborhood.
The Neighborhood.
Yes. And so we'll call
I
it
must
new
not have been
music.
listening to the radio in 2013.
No, we weren't. Or if we were, we were listening to hits of to oldies or the hits of the or talk radio or hits of previous generations. Most likely, would you say that's fair?
I think that's fair.
I was listening to the radio in
that's-
2013, though. I was in high
right.
school, and I don't remember this
This is
song
what
at
has
all.
impressed me. He's never heard of it.
Okay, good. So we'll call it new music, new to all of us in the studio, even those who were listening to new music at that time. Well, on the other end of the spectrum, quote of the day today, very delightful interview. You guys can look it up on YouTube. People Magazine sat down with Dick Van Dyke, 99 years young, for about a 15-minute talk about his life. And he started with what was the biggest career-changing experience for him was in 1962 with the Dick Van Dyke Show. And this is something I had not known about it until today. I mean, obviously they would have had to rename the show too, because the Dick Van Dyke Show wouldn't have gone. But it was Mary Tyler Moore apparently was already kind of an apple in the eye of those who were thinking about the show. They were looking for the right guy to play her husband in this sort of burgeoning world of sitcoms as it was happening in the 1960s, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
as
I
they
think
say.
it was a very still funny show. If you go back and look at it, Sally and what was his name, Buddy. Those two made Rosemary and I forget his name, but they were fantastic. Great cast. Johnny Carson in that role. How things would have changed.
Am I the only one that didn't
for
know
late-night
that it was
viewing.
a thing?
Never heard of it.
I didn't know that either. I thought that was super interesting because I didn't think of him as, but he was a comedian, and so it's not too far of a stretch to think he would have become a comedic actor. But obviously, I think to Dick Van Dyke's point, everybody ended up exactly where they should have
He
been.
looks pretty good for 100.
You think?
Yeah. I think he
looks and sounds great too.
Yeah.
So weird set of circumstances. I have a life coach friend who is based in California who also in her other life is a musician. She plays backup in his musical band that still performs. He goes out and does small venue, a night with Dick Van Dyke, musical reviews, and he has not yet retired from it. She says he does, starting the last year or so, he's had to sit down for part of the show. He has a stool. As
That's
opposed to
reasonable, I
standing.
think, at this point.
Yeah. The other thing in this interview, which I know you and I both love this idea of having a health span in your life, not just a lifespan, but how long you can stay active in doing the things that you want to do, Steve. And he says the question he's most asked is, what's your secret? And he says, I really don't have one other than I've loved my life. I've had a positive outlook, and I just am naturally a fairly high energy person. So I've moved around maybe more than somebody said. There isn't really a big secret. It's just luck.
There's no consensus, though. You've heard the 10 different answers from 10 different people that have made it 100 and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Some drink, say it's fine for you. Others say, no, I never touch the stuff. Don't smoke. I think the one thing probably most have in common is they weren't smokers.
Yeah.
I don't believe, I don't know what the statistics are. I don't believe that's the one thing you can't overcome and live to be 100 years of age. If you're a smoker, eventually it will catch you like for example, it caught my father in the late 70s.
Yes, there are the weird exceptions to that. My friend's mom is 93. She claims that her doctor has told her that if she quits smoking at this point, it would probably kill her.
Really?
We've never he's always quick to say, I've never actually been able to get that information from her doctor, but at this point, whatever, she's defied the odds. For sure. I don't recommend it, however, in any way, shape, or form. Hey, we have a lot more coming up for you on the Frank and Jill Show with Steve Sabard sitting in today right after this. But first, I want to tell you, if you guys have not had a chance yet to go see the St. Louis Symphony in the beautiful, beautiful new updated Powell Hall, I mean, it's just absolutely blowing everybody away. It's beautiful. And of course, a great time to take advantage of seeing the new Powell Hall and all the great things about it are, and at the Sheldon, is this time of year. There are a lot of great concerts. There's the Handel's Messiah coming up on December 12th, which is a favorite one for a lot of people. The Reeds in Turn, which is coming up later this week, which of course featuring some of the reed instruments in Unison Christmas, featuring some beautiful vocalists who will join our symphony. The Mercy Holiday Celebration coming up later in the month. The Home Alone concert, a favorite one for families, which is a great one to bring the kids to at the end of the month. So I really recommend that just write this down, slso.org. Hop on the website, take a look at all the great events that are coming in the month of December that you're not going to miss. There are tickets available to almost every single one of them, and you can do that at slso.org as well. And also remember, on Giving Tuesday, trying to make those donations before the end of the year, consider pushing the donate button and supporting our incredible St. Louis Orchestra as well. Lots more coming up right after this.
And now, KTRS weather.
Another shot of accumulating snow heads our way later today. Cloudy and cold through the morning, but we'll keep it dry until the afternoon when light snow begins to move in. And with a high of only 29, boy, everything that falls will stick to untreated surfaces. So let's be ready for some slick spots for the evening rush. But on and off snow will continue through the evening and into tonight as well. Most of us get a quick 1 to 2 inches out of this, but a few spots could see a little bit more. I think roads will be in good shape by the Tuesday morning drive, although it's cold Tuesday morning, 21 for the low, and then 31 tomorrow afternoon and partly cloudy. From the First Alert 4 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers for the Big 550 KTRS.
Recently, a good friend of mine was changing the light fixture in their kitchen, and they took the light fixture off the ceiling, and they looked inside the ceiling and said, what is the phone number to Michael Baldy? If they would have listened to me, they would have put Michael Baldy's phone number in their phone, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. So here you go. The next time you need an electrician, you need to remember Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. So the phone number, 314-968-9999. Indoor, outdoor, an old Victorian home, knob and tube wiring, and anything and everything in between. You see, Michael Baldy is a licensed electrician, and he has a team ready to go. Whether it's something for the ceiling in the kitchen, something for the lights for the holidays, whatever it may be, Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. BaldyElectric.com, 314-968-9999, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. BaldyElectric.com.
Shop, snack, and be merry on a Wind Down Wednesday, December 3rd from 3 to 9 at the Hill Antique Market's Christmas Extravaganza. The Heidi Show will be there from 3 to 6. There'll be a cash bar and snacks. You'll get 10% discount on merchandise all day. Santa will be there from 4 to 7. There'll be raffles and plenty of surprises, and you'll help support more than 75 local vendors and pop-up stores. That's Wednesday, December 3rd from 3 to 9 at the Hill Antique Market's Christmas Extravaganza at 4923 Daggett on the Hill.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots.
They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment. You fill out a health questionnaire form. You get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home. And then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners. And then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? None better than to call STLMedWeightLoss.com and ask Dr. Joe. STLMedWeightLoss.com.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage onion bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
Have some fun with your friends while eating great food. Of course, I'm talking about the Village Bar, the only place to watch the big game while eating the world's best cheeseburger. There's a reason people have made this their favorite hangout for decades. The game's on, and so is the grill. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
St. Louis is home to more than 80,000 University of Missouri, St. Louis alumni, where they drive the region's economy and contribute to its social and cultural well-being. At UMSOL, more is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
To make a donation, visit Glennon.org and click the Give button and help support the important work that Cardinal Glennon provides in changing lives. Light Up Glennon. Presented by SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, Ameren, and the Big 550 KTRS, along with Fisher and Fritchell, Prairie Farms, Gingham's, Appliance Discounters, Outdoor Living Inc., Overstock Outlet, Beatty Roofing, Benjamin F. Edwards, and M1 Bank are proud to bring you
Light Up Glennon.
Welcome back, everybody. Light Up Glennon, always a very special day here in St. Louis as the community comes out to support the kids, sing some carols, and bring their lights to be able to show support to the kids who are receiving treatment at Cardinal Glennon Hospital. And it's just a great way. And it's also a great day for you to support the incredible work that's happening over at Cardinal Glennon. They couldn't do what they do for so many families in our region without the support of individual donors like each of you listening, as well as the companies who make Light Up Glennon happen, including our friends at Benjamin F. Edwards Investments. And that includes, of course, Tad Edwards, the CEO, who's joining us now. And Tad, if you will, why Cardinal Glennon? Why Light Up Glennon? Why is that a place where you guys throw your financial support behind?
Is this Jill?
Yes, it sure is. Thanks so much for being with us.
Jill. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we love Cardinal Glennon, and we're excited to be part of the Light Up Glennon, and also we, as a firm, we support Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, and we're honored that we can be a small part of that.
Tad, Steve Savard here. What kind of feedback do you get from Glennon for helping them out? What makes it all worthwhile for you and your company?
Well, Steve, to me, or to us, really, it comes down to their mission at Cardinal Glennon and helping children who often can't help themselves, and a highly professional staff of doctors and nurses and others there that are top of the line, and it changes lives and changes families, and we're proud to be a partner.
If you're just joining us, Tad Edwards, Chairman, CEO, and President at Benjamin F. Edwards Investments, joining us, one of the sponsors making Light Up Glennon happen today. One of the things that you guys are well known for at Benjamin F. Edwards, in addition to supporting important organizations in our community, is being one of the best places to work. Business Journal, best place to work. U.S. News and World Report, best places to work. What do you think makes you guys stand out in terms of an investment firm, and why so many people enjoy coming to work every day at Benjamin F. Edwards?
Yeah, great question, and it's something we have to earn every day, every week, every year. we get lots and lots of applicants here, and we hire a very small percentage. We're very selective because we want people who want to have fun, who work well in a team, and who want to be at a firm that is entrepreneurial and that grows rapidly, and that they can come with us and step up and get in the leadership and have a voice and make a difference. And a lot of people are looking for a place where they can be heard and valued and be part of a great culture and make a positive difference in the lives of many, many people. And at Edwards, that's very possible.
Benjamin F. Edwards, Investments for Generations. You've just heard from Tad Edwards, the CEO of Benjamin F. Edwards, making the world better today for our kids at Cardinal Glennon here in St. Louis. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us today, Tad.
Thank you very much, Jill, and thank you, Steve.
Happy holidays to you and yours. Hey, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've got some important news from our friends at Dalco Home Remodeling. You know they're locally owned and family operated. More importantly, they've been installing the very best windows and doors in town for the past 50 years. That great offer that they have on windows at Dalco has now been extended through the end of the month, so you can still earn a $600 tax credit on new windows. Plus, Dalco has upped the ante to an additional $260 credit per window for up to 10 of their Elite Series windows with 0% financing for up to 18 months. That's up to $3,200 in credits. The Energy Star tax credit offer is ending forever and will not return. So you've got to act fast. This incredible offer ends through the end of the month. So you call today, 314-298-7300 to get up to $3,200 in credits for up to 10 new energy-efficient windows. Or go online, DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. If you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved with Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call 314-298-7300. See store for details.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. It's been very busy. In the last few weeks, the listeners have been calling, and I've been showing up. I bought several Corvettes, Vipers, Mopars, and even an entire collection directly out of listeners' garages. I'm still looking for more, too. If you have an interesting vehicle to sell, call us or hop on our site today. We'll come right to your house if need be. We're busy selling, too. Black Friday specials are already in full effect with financing rates as low as 3.99 up to 66 months on 2019 or newer models for those who qualify. Time to buy and sell right now.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
A message from the Master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newsletter's Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry, or at wowdiamonds.com.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage onion bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. M-I-Z-D-O-G. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
This Giving Tuesday, make a difference right here at home. I'm Sarah Newton with Duo Dogs, and your support on Giving Tuesday, December 2nd, helps train assistance and therapy dogs that bring comfort, confidence, and connection to people across St. Louis. Together, we're building a stronger, more compassionate community. Click Donate Now at duodogs.org this Giving Tuesday, December 2nd, and help us change lives one paw at a time.
You've heard so many people talk about Innsbrook. Now it's time to see for yourself. 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, on-site restaurants, an 18-hole championship golf course for you to go play by yourself, with some friends, or maybe even a charity event, nature trails, event spaces, and so much more. Innsbrook is 45 minutes from St. Louis. It's so close,
and yet you feel so far away. Go see Innsbruck for yourself. Innsbruck-resort.com.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
It looks like your luggage is over 50 pounds. Is there anything you can take out?
Oh, yeah. Let me just toss all these $20 bills.
Great. Let me grab you a trash can.
Stop. Instead of throwing money away, move some clothes into a carry-on. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Welcome back to the Frank and Jill Show. Wrapping up our second hour. It's been a really fun show. As always, Steve Sabard, excellent to have you sitting in for
Always a
Frank
pleasure.
today. Connor McCarthy here as well after he took a couple of days off. It's been very fun talking about Light Up Glennon, which is, of course, happening tonight. Very special event to support the incredible work they do at Cardinal Glennon. And then tomorrow is, of course, it's Cyber Monday today. We didn't have to talk about that. You guys are getting bombarded with all of that ways that you can go spend your money. But I do want to talk about Giving Tuesday, which happens tomorrow. And it's really important to so many of our not-for-profit organizations, Steve, in the greater St. Louis area. They really rely on people being in the habit every year on this first Tuesday in December to pause and say, I've been lucky, I've got some resources, and I want to help make good things happen for very good organizations. And one of those good organizations we talked about earlier in the show, Ronald McDonald House. Another is called Duo Dogs. Duo Dogs trains and connects dogs to people with specific physical, emotional, and social needs, creating, I love this, a life-enhancing duo. We are very happy to be joined by Dawn Van Houten, the CEO of Duo Dogs, and Evie, one of the cutest dogs I have seen in a while, who comes out with you, Dawn, to be able to show the world how well-trained dogs can really make a difference for people. Talk a little, if you would, about Duo Dogs' mission and how you guys impact families in the St. Louis region.
Well, thank you for having us here today, and I'm sorry that you can't see Evie. She is at my feet.
She's adorable, and she's behaving very well.
She is spectacular. So she's a 6-year-old ambassador dog for Duo Dogs. So she goes with me for presentations and demonstrations, a great representation of what a Duo Dog can look like. So Duo Dogs, so we create extraordinary bonds between people and dogs that improve lives. Mm. And so it's not just about cute dogs. It is about what we can accomplish together. And so we do that in two ways. One is through our assistance dog program. So these are mobility dogs who help people with mobility issues, hearing dogs that can alert people who are deaf or hard of hearing, PTSD dogs who help veterans who are living with PTSD, and then facility dogs that work in hospitals and schools and courthouses.
These are dogs that literally change lives. And I know it's not easy to pair this up. It's a process, and it's an expensive process as well, right? I don't think people really realize how much it takes to train one dog and the length of time to train them and then pair them with the right recipient.
You're absolutely correct. So, and we breed and raise and train our own dogs. So we own them. So from birth to placement, and that includes breeding costs, veterinarian costs, training costs, facilities costs. It's a $50,000 investment on our part, and we do not pass those costs along to our clients. So the people who are benefiting from the assistance dogs or the facility dogs, that cost is not passed along to them.
I think when I was doing a little research before we had a chance to talk to you today, Dawn, about Duo Dogs, I was familiar, of course, with dogs that were trained to help people with mobility issues and hearing issues. That's been around for a long time. Seeing eye dogs, I mean, that's something that's been out there. The facility dogs aspect was new to me, and I thought it was really interesting to hear how you're impacting victims of crime, for instance, who are having to testify in court, that a dog can help calm somebody's nerves and help them feel more comfortable, or in a hospital setting for kids especially who are feeling overwhelmed and upset about that situation. Can you talk a little bit more about the impact that dogs can have for people in facilities and in those situations?
We continue to learn more about how physically and emotionally these dogs can help people in those places. So to start out with the courthouses, so facility dogs who work in child advocacy centers or a courthouse, so they can go to court with a child who has to tell a really tough story. They'll sit in the stand with them. They work with the forensic interviewer. So during that forensic. Can you imagine what that process could be like? So you have a dog there, with them to do that. And in the hospitals, not just families and patients, but also nurses and doctors and people who work there. So a facility dog that works in a hospital can touch 1,000 people over a year's period of time.
My mom, who we just lost recently, loved her dog so much. And when she was moving into assisted living, her number one thing was, I've got to be able to find a place that allows the dog to come with me. And the thing I've noticed in visiting and when I was visiting her and then my dad in assisted living is the other residents just light up. They want to pet the dog. They want to spend that time.
They want to give him treats.
They want to give him treats.
You ever seen a skinny therapy dog at a retirement?
Well, this dog is not well trained in any way, and it is a little bit of a sausage dog because too many people have been giving him treats. But you guys see that impact in all kinds of different facilities as well.
I'm really glad you brought that up because that touches on our other program, which is our Duo Touch Therapy Dog program. And so these are volunteers that have been trained with their own personal dogs to visit nursing homes and schools and libraries. And we do have a number of Duo Touch Therapy dogs that visit nursing homes here in St. Louis. And so what science is telling us that a visit with a therapy dog can decrease anxiety. It can increase oxytocin, which is the hormone that makes you feel good and happy. It can decrease cortisol, which is not a great hormone for anxiety, and just make people feel better all around.
So you don't train every dog for a long-term necessarily for a long-term one-on-one relationship. Some have more short-term benefits.
So yeah, that's just a different type of dog. So the assistance dogs are working with one person or facility for 8 years. So we place them at 2 years old, and then they work full-time for 8 years. And then the touch therapy dogs are with their own person, with the volunteer, and they work until they're, as long as they're healthy and happy, then they can continue to work. But their visits are a little bit different because they're not assistance dogs, so it's different work. So I heard you mention Cardinal Glennon earlier. So we have a full-time Duo facility dog who works at Cardinal Glennon. His name's Thor. So you may see him, from time to time. We've got 2 facility dogs that work at Children's Hospital that touch kids there, every day too. So
I was just going to ask, do you guys have any way, I know it's hard because you're at so many places where there's so many people, do you have any idea to quantify the impact, the number of people who get to benefit from having these beautifully trained dogs be able to provide love and support and calm to them?
We actually do. So for our Duo Touch Therapy dogs, these are volunteers with their own personal dogs going on these visits. We do ask them to count how many people they interact with. And so right now we have 300 Duo Touch Therapy teams that work in St. Louis that visit 150 sites. So over a year, we calculated over 300,000 individual interactions. So that's 300,000 people that we're touching in a year. So then now you add the facility dogs that are working, full-time at a facility that can touch 1,000 people in a year or more. So there's a lot of reach there, and we're just so thrilled that we get to do this kind of work, but we only get to do it because of the support of our community, which is why we're really happy to be here today.
Oh.
I'm happy you're here.
Yeah,
I'm happy to see you and Evie as well.
She makes everybody happy.
We're dog deficient at the Savard household right now, but we're working on it. Now that we move back.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Do you have any idea what?
Oh, my wife has lots of ideas.
Are you going to do a puppy again, or are you guys going to?
We don't know. We don't know. We're not at that point yet. But we lost 2 beautiful Akitas in the last couple of years, within 3 weeks of each other, and there's been a void. But even seeing any dog at any point, we go crazy.
So just so you know,
yes.
So when you do decide to get your own dog, we do obedience training at Duo too. So we've got really good trainers there. And then the other thing to think about when you're in between dogs is a volunteer opportunity. So volunteers raise our dogs from itty-bitty puppies to about 1.5 years. So it's called a volunteer puppy raiser. And so today, actually, our Duo puppy cam's going up. We have brand new puppies on site.
But it takes a special personality to do that and get that attached, like we get attached to them and then turn them over. But I guess seeing them paired with somebody they're really going to affect, the life they're going to affect, really helps you, facilitate that break.
You're right. And even for the kids in the family, they learn how to give back, that they've helped train and create this wonderful dog who's going to improve someone's life or many lives someday.
Okay, Giving Tuesday, you've done a great job at really helping us better understand not only what Duo Dogs does, but how many thousands and thousands of people in our community are impacted by it. If somebody says, I want to get involved either as a volunteer or I really want to be able to provide some financial support, because I know it's not easy to train dogs and to do all the things that you guys do, how can they help?
So you can visit us at duodogs.org and participate from a volunteer perspective. We do have different volunteer opportunities that are listed on our website. The Volunteer Puppy Raiser is one. And then you can also donate. I mean, those financial resources are really important to us. All of us working dogs out there, we still own and support. And we've got a 20,000 square foot facility very close to here, actually. And so to maintain that facility, it takes resources to do that. So we couldn't do it without the support of our community.
Duodogs.org. Don, thank you so much for being with us. Steve, this was fun. How would you like to do the same thing again tomorrow?
Oh, I'll be back. I'm invited back?
You are.
Okay, I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to plan on it. Okay,
you
great. I'll be back.
Being here tomorrow as well.
Can
Same
Evie
thing.
come back?
Yeah, exactly. Can Evie come every day? Connor,
You too,
as
Dawn.
well. Hey, heard of him? John Cleese. He's going to be on the Carney Show today, coming up with John and Julie and Max. Stick around for that. Heidi Glaus show with Josh. Bob's off today, but they've got a great show planned for you as well. Keep your dial right here, everybody, and we will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Make it a great day.
Too much on your plate? Get 50% off your first 6 months of payroll at gusto.com/radio. Gusto saves you 2 days every month on payroll, taxes, and compliance. So you can go from payroll to pumpkin pie, filing taxes to raising glasses, counting hours to counting blessings. There's no need to transfer payroll history when you switch before the end of the year, and you'll be thankful you did. Choose a future with Gusto and get more time for what matters. For a limited time, get 50% off your first 6 months at gusto.com/radio.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates.